Okay, so part 2 in level 2s are writing the equations of a circle. So just a reminder that your equation of your circle, whoops, I didn't even start that right. So you're going to do, x minus h squared plus y minus k squared equals the radius squared. So that's your general equation of your circle. So let's look at number 2. Find the equation of a circle that has a diameter with the endpoints of -3, 7, and 1, -3. So I'm going to go ahead and draw myself a picture here and use the graph over here to figure out what's going on. So I got -3, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so that's one endpoint. The other endpoint is 1, -3. Okay, so there is my diameter of my circle. So let's just kind of estimate what's going on here. I know that's a terrible circle, but imagine. So what we want to do here, in order to write the equation of a circle, we need the center and the radius. So in order to find the center of the circle, it's going to be the halfway point in between the two endpoints of a diameter. Well, halfway sounds a lot like the midpoint. So I'm going to find the midpoint between these two endpoints. Remember, your midpoint is going to be -3 plus 1 over 2 and 7 plus -3 over 2. Adding the x coordinates and dividing by 2 and adding the y coordinates and dividing by 2. So you got -3 plus 1, it's -2, divided by 2 is -1. 7 plus -3 is 4, divided by 2 is 2. So your midpoint is -1, 2, but in relation to the circle, that's the center. Okay, so I'm almost done. Now, if I have y, why do I always start with that? Okay, I'm going to start here, x minus h squared plus y minus k squared equals r squared. So that's my general form. Now I know the center is at -1, 2, so I'm going to take out h and put in -1. And I'm going to put in k, I'm going to put in 2 for k. So I know that, now I just got to find out what r is. A couple different ways. You could find the length between the two endpoints of your circle and divide it by 2, or you can use the center point, your midpoint, and use one of the endpoints and find that distance, because that's the radius. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take the center point and, I don't know, let's do -3, 7. So my radius is going to equal the square root of -1 minus -3 squared plus 2 minus 7 squared. So -1 minus -3 is 2, 2 squared is 4, and this is going to be 25, so this equals a square root of 29. Okay, so, and that can't be broken down, so I'm just going to leave it like that. So now, instead of r, I'm going to take out r. First, I'm going to simplify this. Okay, instead of r, I'm going to put in the square root of 29, and then don't forget you got to square it. So then final answer, once you finally simplify, when you square the square root of 29, you just get 29. So x plus 1 squared plus y minus 2 squared equals 29. So little distance formula, little midpoint, figure out what's going on to write the equation of the circle. Okay, and now for number 3, it says you try it. So again, I want you to pause this and try it on your note sheet and then go ahead and play the video. No, I'm serious. Pause it. Pause it. Okay, so if we have the point 5, 0, I think this is 5, 0, or -5, 0, is on the circle with the center of -3, 6. So what we're going to do here is if we have this point, -5, 0, which is on the circle, and the center is at -3, 6. We want to write the equation. So again, you need two things. You need the center, which we have, and we need the radius. So since you have two endpoints of the radius, one on the circle and one in the middle, we can find the distance. So I'm going to use r to represent radius. equals the square root of negative 3 minus negative 5, and 6 minus 0. It's going to be 4 plus 36, which equals the square root of 40. Now, I'm not going to simplify that yet, and here's why. If I go ahead and substitute in, remember that I'm going to start with x minus my x value, so that's minus a negative or plus 3 squared plus y minus the y value of the center. So 6 squared will equal the radius squared. So that's why I didn't simplify, because remember, when you square a square root, you get 40. Okay, the root cancels out. Everything else is the same. So x plus 3 squared, whoops, plus y minus 6 squared equals 40. Okay? All right, go and try part 2 of level 2s.